What's up, everyone? Welcome to a True Underground Story podcast. I'm your host, Timmy Burner. Today I'm with Keezytheeunkind. So tell the people a bit about yourself. Where are you from?
So I was born in Lima, Ohio, but I live in Columbus, Ohio. Been here since I was like 3, so basically Columbus, but born in Lima.
What was your childhood like growing up in a bigger city like Columbus?
It was lit. I made a lot of friends here. Like Lima's smaller, so like everybody know everybody there. But in Columbus, it was like just meeting new people, like just not the same people as you. Like, and you get to mix in with all kinds of people. So it was great, man. I had a good childhood. I can't lie.
Um, what did you do like during your childhood? Did you like ever get into sports, or have you always just really been into music?
Yeah, I played basketball all the way up until my sophomore year of high school. So I was into basketball heavy. And then about like sophomore years when I started getting real heavy into music, I was already making music. I was selling CDs, all of that. But I say I really got serious like my sophomore year when I stopped playing basketball. And then from there, it's been just consistent. So yeah.
So if you started slinging CDs and stuff your sophomore year of high school, how many years already had you already been making music then?
Beforehand, I started making music when I was in probably like the seventh grade. I was recording off like the free program Audacity, and I was just like pulling beats from YouTube and recording off like a regular like dynamic mic. I wish I could show you. I got a few here, like the regular performing mics that are like $20. You get them at like Best Buy or whatever. Got me one of those, and I was recording off of that, and then just playing around. I didn't even know what I was doing, and then as I was watching YouTube videos, I was like looking it up, trying to see like what softwares I should get, how to up everything, like going through the process from seventh to probably like freshman year. I was like in my research, like just trying to figure out what I need to do, what I got. Eventually got my own little studio and took off from there after that. So
So you go by the stage name Keezytheeunkind. How did you come up with your stage name?
so so at first I was like Keezy kind of just been like a name they call me, especially playing basketball. Like it was just always like Key or Keezy. My real name is Kiana, so real easy. And then the way that I wanted, I was like, man, I don't know. Like people think like I'm so like mean because they don't know me until I start talking. I open up, the smile happens. They're like, yo, you're like the coolest ever. Like, but when you see me, it's like I don't know, she might be mean or something. So I just went with Dion Kind because it's like people just think like I may be this way or it may give off this, but when you listen to my music, it's totally different. I can give you that, but it's totally different. I'm versatile, so I just liked it. I thought it sounded real smooth, and I just ran with it after that.
Have you always gone by that, or did you have other names you started with?
I had I had a few. I went by like Lil Keezy, like when I first started, and then I was just like Key, Keezy. I was just playing with different names, and then once I got like Keezy the Unkind, probably like my freshman year, I was like, yeah, this what I'm gonna stick with, and I just ran with it.
Yeah, I feel like most people that start in hip hop, they either had like the Young or the Lils as
Yeah,
their name when they first start out.
yeah, for sure. Little was my or Lil Lil. That's really how I was the youngest out of my family, so it fit too. So I was just like, might as well.
What was some of the music you kind of grew up listening to, whether it was stuff that you seeked out or the stuff your parents had you listening to?
All right, so I'll say my pops. My pops was a DJ in Lima, Ohio, real well known. DJ Doc Lock was what he went by or whatever. He passed away when I was like 10. So growing up, like he put me on the game. Like he put me on the. I was listening to Jay-Z. I listened to a lot of like Biggie, Tupac. Uh, I'm just trying to Too Short, E40. Uh, Man, we used to listen to all kinds of stuff, and then it went into like more R&B. I started listening to like Lauryn Hill, uh, the Fugees. I started tapping into like different different stuff. And he really put on like the actual hip hop. And then I say my mom put me on to more of the R&B, like just Monica, Keisha Cole, like, and this is just stuff I'm listening to growing up, you know. But like both of them combined, I think it gave me my sound because I can go one way and I can go a whole other way. So
I agree.
you know, it's like a mix.
So, would you say like your dad being a DJ, is that kind of what made you fall in love with music to want to start making it?
Oh, for sure. Like my dad, he could do it. Like to me, he was Superman. Like he could do anything. Like you put him in front of a piano, he could play the piano. He grew up in the church. He could sing. He could rap. He was a DJ, so he DJ for radio stations as well as in clubs. So it was just like I felt like anything you could tell him to do, he could do it. He could draw. Amazing artist, like could draw crazy. So I would say like just growing up and him showing me these things and putting me on and just like put me on young. It just like, and then when he passed, I feel like it was kind of like a trigger, like a motivation, like an on switch. And then after that, it's like I had to do my own research. But I took that. That was like the roots of me in like trying to figure out this rap shit. So.
Well, I mean, at least like your parents had you listening to what most people nowadays consider like Pac and Biggie and stuff. Not necessarily pioneers, but like huge, impactful people in
Right.
the hip hop. And then with Monica and Keisha Cole, just goats of R&B. Like you had
Of
like
course.
you were taking in stuff from the biggest names at the time, and still to
Right.
this day.
Exactly.
What did your mom and your friends think when you like really started pursuing music, especially after high school? Because I'm sure like during high school, she's like, "Oh, it's just a phase."
Right.
After high school, you're actually putting money all the time into running ads and all this different types of stuff.
Yeah, so like starting out, like I would say I go back to like really when I started in middle school. I think that's when they thought it was a phase. And then like when I took it serious, like I was on 107.5. I opened up for like Lil Uzi. Like in high school, I was in my prime and I was a female artist, you know, like something brand new. So I feel like that's another part of the reason why I was able to do what I did in high school. And I think seeing me like open up for like these artists, meeting these people, and like I bring my family with me everywhere I go. So they, you know, any show I do, they're right next to me. So this, you know, they in position now, and they're like, "You really doing this? You only 17? Like, I was only 17. Like, I wasn't even supposed to be in these type of. I'm not even old enough to be in the clubs, but I'm in these clubs doing stuff like that. So I think like that solidified it. And then like after high school, it was like game on. You know what I'm saying? I don't have school no more. I don't have no really obligations after that. So I just start going in. After that, start working, start throwing ads, doing music video. I was doing everything. So yeah, straight up. Shout out to Leak, man. He knows. See, we went to high school together. Like straight up. I was in like a mode after that. So yeah.
So you kind of touched on it earlier because you brought up how like listening to all these different people in hip hop and R&B kind of helped mold you as an artist. Who would you say are probably the more impactful in the influence in your sound because you do have a very versatile style?
Oh man. I say man, my biggest influence with my sound, I ain't even gonna lie, was probably like P&B Rock. Like even like before passing, like you could ask anybody that know. I put people on the P&B Rock like before anybody was really on to him, before Selfish, and it's like I just love his story and the way he put his music together, the melodies. Like I just it was different because I was always rapping, and that's what I was used to. Like I said, I was listening to Jay-Z, I was listening to Nas, I was listening to all these rappers. So I was trying to be on old 90s boom bap beats, like just trying to just rap, like just get it off, you know. And then I'm learning like you can actually you have a voice, like you can actually sing, like you could hold a note, like try it out. You know, there's other ways of creating music. So I start tapping in, and so I would say like that would be like my biggest influence with the melody. But then like when I rap, it's just it like Jay, like I'm saying, like all the goats. I still even listen to them now, just when I really want to rap because it just gives me that influence.
And I was actually going to ask you about PNB Rock because when I was looking on your Twitter, you had a lot of tweets dating back like to 2018 and 2016 about PNB. And after his passing, your Instagram profile picture for a while was of PNB after his passing.
For
So,
sure.
what impact do you feel like he had on you, especially like now that he's passed? Like, do you feel like he played a big part in your music career?
I mean, I would say, I'm big on interviews and I like to learn the artist. Like, I like to know who I'm listening to. So I say when I start watching more interviews, probably like 2017, 2018, really learning who he is as a person. That's what really like made me like feel like, all right, yeah, like I could really, be in music. Like there's really genuine people out here that's like really, just doing them. Like you don't got to be in the mix as much. You can focus on yourself and really go there if you put your mind to it. And he was the first person that I felt like I related to musically and as well as like on a genuine tip. Like I felt like if we was to meet in the future, like we would meet genuinely, like because I feel like we was the same on that aspect. So yeah, man, that shit was rough, but I feel like really all of that really just showed me like you can do it. Like don't let nobody tell you that you can't do it. Like you really could do it. So it's like now it's like I gotta do it.
So obviously, probably this next question I'm about to ask would have probably been P&B Rock, but excluding P&B Rock,
Mm-hmm.
in the industry, getting features can be pricey. If you didn't have to pay for a feature, who's an artist that you would want to get a feature from?
Um, who would I want to get a feature from? I'd probably say Tory Lanez.
Tory Lanez.
Yeah. Even though, everything that he be in, like musically, he's on a different level, And as far as the melodic like tip, like he's crazy with it. Like from
Yeah.
delivery, from the beats, like the beat selection, all of that, like it's crazy. So
I'm
I,
a
I,
huge.
I would definitely say that.
I could definitely even see like your guys' styles blending well, just because
Oh yeah,
Tory's super talented, and I listen to Tory's music. His new album's fucking awesome.
ridiculous, stupid.
Um, what would you say has probably been like the hardest thing on you as an artist?
I say the hardest thing really be like making sure you networking like and doing things with the right people that had that right energy and that's gonna like hear you out. Like I don't work with a lot of people, not necessarily just like on marketing and shit like that, but like even music videos or getting in studios and it's like sometimes people don't understand your vision and you could tell them as much as you want, but sometimes you gotta just it's hard to find people that actually understand your vision. I should say, like, because you can go in there and tell people all day what you want and this and that, but if they don't know how to execute it, like, or know how to like be business partners, like bounce off of each other, that kind of thing, like it get a little hard. So it's like you sometimes gotta get out your own city to meet those kind of people, or travel and go to these different places to get a team, get a group of people that really understand your vision. So right now, I say that'd be the hardest for me because I can't just up and travel 100% all the time. So I work, you know what I'm saying? I'm a
Yeah.
regular person at the end of the day, like I'm still trying to get it out the mud. So, I got things at home I got to take care of too. So that I guess that would be the hard part in between right now.
I feel it. My For me, I feel like a lot of people like because you said you have a normal life like with a job and everything. Like I know some artists they make money doing it with like side hustles and stuff, but I know
Right,
doing this and even having my job it can be tasking. Like it takes a
right.
toll. What would you say has been the most rewarding part of your music career thus far?
I say the most rewarding definitely is when like people message me or leave comments or whatever and just say like, "Hey, I related to this song," or "I really feel you." Like I feel like those like genuine comments mean the most to me. And I when I get them, it just like it kind of humble me a little bit. Like it's like, all right, cool. Um, so I guess really like like when people actually respond and actually like tell me how they feel about the track, good or bad. Like I like good or bad. Maybe you could have mixed this better. I've had people say that too, like, or maybe you could have done this better. It just helps me build my catalog up and get and elevate as an artist. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, like with your music, we've talked about it multiple times now. You're just very versatile. Like your newest song is very R&B forward, but if I went to trying to think of. I have to go to your YouTube to see which one it was. Up All Night. There's more of like that melodic rap
Yeah,
influence in that one, and then you've got freestyles you do that are just spitting. It's like you take time to work on your craft, which is something that is definitely applauded on my part, just because you take the time to be able to
I appreciate
actually
that.
rap. You can also do melodic rap. You can pull off an R&B track if you wanted to. Like,
Right.
sky's the limit with that type of versatility. So,
Appreciate that.
with your music, you've worked with a Maskibeats. How did you two end up linking up? Because you're featured on a lot of his projects.
Yeah, so Maskey is actually my one of my producers. I have like two main producers. One is Q Made It, and then one is Maskibeats. Normally, 9 times out of 10, that's who I'm working with. So Maskey, he lives in Los Angeles. Shout out to him. He reached out to me and was like, "Yo, I like your music. I want to, make beats for you. And we'll, drop them. Either I could drop them or he could drop them on his tapes. He does these tapes called Maskey Game. And he's got like I think 6 out right now, 6 different tapes. I think I've been on all
He's
five
got
of the
8.
6. Oh, 8. Okay. Yeah, so I know I've definitely been on like
I'm
if
counting.
one or two tracks. I think on like almost every one of them. I think I missed maybe one tape, but we just dropped. We do music together or whatever. So the Two Doors track, that one I think was on Maskey Gang 5, I believe. And I just love the beat. Like I love the way he makes beats because he just makes all kinds of beats. He can do like melodic beats. He can do just like a Two Doors kind of beat. He just does all kinds of beats, and so he messaged me, and from there we just kind of been chopping it up through the DM. And then we're actually ended up linking in January. He has a show going on like for the entire Maskey Gang artists or whatever. I believe it's January 6th. So we can go out there and perform, and, get to meet everybody who he sends beats to and has and is related to. He's made his connections out there, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah.
Who are some artists that you currently have in your rotation?
Oh, let me think, man. Right now, what am I even listening to right now? There's this artist. His name, he go by Jace. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Um,
Mm-mm.
but his name is spelled. It's spelled like Iayez or something like that. But I've been listening to a lot of him. He's like underground artist coming up and all that. Um, and I think that's what I've been listening to the most. I say him, Kevin Gates. I listen to a lot of Kevin Gates. Trying to think who else. Nardo Wick. I've been listening to a lot of Nardo Wick.
Nardo's hard.
Yeah. I've been listening to a lot of him. I listened to the games, his project he just dropped. I've been listening to a lot of that too. My barber put me on to that, and I've just been having that in rotation. So yeah, so that's kind of been my little mix right now.
So, what is your feature price if somebody wanted a feature from Keezy?
Right now I'm gonna keep it all the way real. Normally my feature price is normally like $100, but right now just because like I'm just I'm in the process of creating an album right now. I'm not even really looking to even charge people for features. I'm just kind of reaching out to artists who I want on my project. I'm just reaching out to see because I want to create a great project. Like I want to put artists on in the city too at the same time. So I'm trying to do my research and get more tapped in with the city. I got a lot of artists already that I'm already kind of working on some kinks with. So I mean, I'm excited. Like as far as feature wise, but normally it is $100. But right now, I'm not even really looking for it. I'm just trying to reach out, make some connections, and try to bring some people in. So
I, um, I'll show you some artists after this interview that
yeah,
originally from Dayton, but they staying up there in the C-Bus area
okay,
for you to check out and see if you
yeah.
music. Um, so you also are part of RQ Records, Retro Quality Records. How did that
Yeah.
end up coming about?
So Retro Quality Records is actually that's my label.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
label I came up with. I have me my uncle. It's a few of us who was a part of the label. Kind of came together, created this. I created it back in high school. I think I was a sophomore when I started Retro Quality. Actually, I think. And I came to my uncle about it, and he was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Like, you're an artist. You should be signed to yourself. Like that's gonna be major. Like, especially in the future." So we got locked in, and now I'm signing basically myself in a way. So yeah,
Hey, I fuck with that. There's a lot of
for
artists that
sure.
I know that have like their own record labels they've created. It's a dope thing to do, especially as an independent artist, because once you're able to grow yourself, you're able to then take other artists that you fuck with under your wing and help push them through your record label the right way,
Right,
without the way like Capitol Records and Empire fuck people over.
right. We see that, but
Yeah. So I got a game I play during the interviews called This or That.
okay,
Turn off my fan real fast. And I'll present two artists to you, and you tell me which one you want to listen to more
okay,
if you ride around in the car.
all right.
Tory Lanez or Chris Brown?
Tori,
Bruno Mars or The Weeknd?
The Weeknd,
Erica Badu or Lauryn Hill?
Lauryn Hill,
Stevie Wonder or Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson,
Music Soul Child or Drew Hill?
Music Soul Child, for sure.
DMX or Jadakiss?
DMX,
Jay-Z or Nas?
Jay-Z.
Tupac or Biggie?
Ooh, Biggie,
Keith Sweat or Luther Vandross?
Keith,
Outkast or Wu-Tang?
Wu-Tang,
Eminem or The Game?
The Game.
50 Cent or Ja Rule?
I'm gonna go 50 Cent. Ja Rule got some stuff though. I'm not gonna lie, but 50.
E40 or Twista?
Ooh, I'm gonna go E40. I love E40.
That one's the one that I get a lot of 50-50 on. Like it's a real
Yeah,
toss up in the air. Like that one never gets dominated by one or the
but
other.
Twista, yeah, Twista is like a goat. But I don't know. I just love E40. His voice is different to me, so I just love that part.
He
So
just talked different, really. The Locks or Dipset?
Dipset,
Goody Mob or Bone Thugs and Harmony?
Bone Thug,
21 Savage or Kodak Black?
Kodak,
Ab Soul or Schoolboy Q?
Schoolboy.
J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar?
Ooh, I'm gonna go Kendrick. I love J Cole though, but it's Kendrick is just a little bit more consistent, and every time I feel like it's always a 10 out of 10. So I'm gonna give it to Kendrick.
I can't argue that.
Yeah,
G Unit or Slaughterhouse?
G Unit.
Cardi B or Nicki Minaj?
I'm gonna go Cardi. Still, same thing. Like Nicki is a goat, but Cardi is a little bit more consistent, in my opinion. That's just me.
Like Lotto or Meg the Stallion?
Lotto,
Glorilla or where'd she go? Come back down off. XX Tension or Juice World?
Juice.
Glorilla or JT?
I'm gonna go Glorilla. Yeah.
Jack Harlow or Machine Gun Kelly the rapper?
Hmm. I'm gonna go Machine Gun Kelly. I feel like the rapper Machine Gun Kelly. Yeah.
Kevin Gates or Joyner Lucas?
Ooh. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go Kevin Gates.
Doja Cat or Coi Leray?
I'm gonna go Coi Leray.
I like it.
Yeah.
Lupe Fiasco or Wale?
Wale.
Wiz Khalifa or Young Thug?
I'm gonna go Young Thug. Yeah, Young Thug.
Nelly or Akon?
Nelly.
Young Ma or Young M.A. or Flo Milli?
Young M.A.
Mobb Deep or UGK?
Mobb Deep.
Lil Wayne or Drake?
Lil Wayne.
Pusha T or Kanye?
I'm gonna go. Ooh, that's tough. I'm gonna go Pusha.
Gucci Mane or Jeezy?
Jeezy.
T.I. or Ludacris?
Luda.
Nardo Wick or G Herbo?
Ooh. I'm gonna go. Ooh, that's tough. I'm gonna do Nardo Wick.
Young Dolph or Nipsey Hussle?
Nipsey.
Lil Durk or Lil Baby?
Lil Durk.
Lil Durk again or Polo G?
Polo. Polo G.
The last one I got for you, Kalani or Summer Walker?
Ooh. I'm gonna go Kehlani.
Both of them, I fuck with both of them.
Yeah.
They're both out to this fuck with what they do. So
Yeah.
recently you've done a couple shows here the last few months. You just recently performed at Scully's. What was that experience like getting to perform there?
Yeah, it was dope, man. It was dope. It was a lot of local artists who all got a chance to perform. And I feel like it was dope seeing just the city come out the way they did and just the different kinds of artists that are here that I didn't even know about. So it was a dope experience.
And then over the summer you got to perform at Comfest.
Yes. Yep.
How did that all come about?
So shout out to my boy Tashambi. He had told me like, bro, you gotta sign up for Confest. I'm like, all right, 'cause, they pick their artists, so I'm like, all right, I'll sign up, see if it works. Sign up, and like I feel like a month or so went by or whatever, and I got the email like, hey, we want you to come out, come perform, and I'm like, great. So we went, and it was great. Like it was all love. Like went out there, and as I was performing, more people were coming up. So it was just dope to see, like, as the music was as the show was going on, people were attracting. And by that time, we had a nice little group, standing there. And beforehand, it was barely anybody. So I appreciated that moment a lot because that kind of showed that the music can speak for itself in a way. So it was a beautiful moment for sure.
2021 was a pretty big year for you as an artist. I saw your Spotify Wrapped. You ended up having about 55,000 streams on your
Yeah,
music, and that was over 36,000 listeners. What
yeah.
was that like seeing that end product at the end of 2021?
It was it was crazy. Cause I wasn't even expecting it. Like I just went into the year like, you know what, this year I'm gonna make it count. Like that was really my talk at the beginning of 2021. Like, let's make this year count. Let's show that we are artists, like let's show that we can do this, we can get it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? We don't need no extra people around. We don't need, because that's when I did my cutting ties with people as well. So I just did it solo dolo by myself. Like first time, that was my first year really doing it by myself. So it just showed, like, again, like you can do it on your own. Like, you don't need anybody except yourself and that mentality to get you there. You can get your stuff in front of people. So it was beautiful seeing those numbers because, you know what I'm saying, I ain't never had that. So it was dope.
On your Twitter, you had once tweeted that you would choose smoking weed over drinking liquor. Do you still stand by that?
Yes, 100%. But that'll never change. That'll never change. I had some experiences before where I was like, you know what? think I'm done with the liquor. I think I'm gonna just stick to smoking weed because this liquor, it can take you places that I don't want to go. Weed can calm me down. Liquor can take me who knows where you're gonna
Shit, apparently Benadryl can take you places you didn't need to go. You
go.
said you took 2 Benadryl on a Friday and woke up days later.
Yo, you're on my Twitter for real. Yeah, that was facts. Oh my
You
God.
you had also had tweeted that you'd probably start driving to Atlanta instead of flying to Atlanta because you had a bad experience. What was the bad experience with the flight?
So I would say one, like when we got on the plane, it was super hot. Like the little air nozzles were not working when we went for some reason. So like we're high up in the air and I'm hot. And then we went to Atlanta. It was my first time to Atlanta. So I never seen like an airport the way I don't know if you ever been to Atlanta, but it's like
I've
an
been to Atlanta
entire
before.
train. Yeah. We don't got trains in Columbus. So I was like, whoa, where do like I didn't even know how to get out of there. Like it was just crazy. Like, and then we had layovers because that was like right during like they were having issues with like pilots and like not having enough pilots and stuff. So everything was like backed up, and I was like, oh my God, I just want to get to Atlanta. And like we drove to Atlanta the first time. That was my second time being there. The first time we drove, and it was cool, like cool little drive. So I'm like, I prefer to do that again. Take my little stops, then go through this whole process again and being hot and all that. So, man,
And then the last tweet that I wanted to bring up is you had said Ohio got some weird ass motherfuckers. What prompted that tweet?
well, I'm trying to even think. I probably was just
I mean,
mad about
I'm
some.
not arguing it. I'm living in Ohio my whole life, and I agree.
Well, yeah, like I'm just trying to think why I would have. It could have either been one, somebody was either acting weird towards me, or it could have been I was in because depending when that tweet was, I'd been in some situations before where it was people like when I said I had cut people off beforehand. It was just some situations before. So when I start learning certain stuff, like I'm very open. Like if I feel like you're being weird, if I feel like I feel away, I'm gonna state that because I ain't no reason to hide it. Like especially if it is weird, like I'm gonna call it like I see it. So it could have been one or two. It could have been one a situation, or it could have just been me just frustrated about something. But Ohio, do you got how Ohio is. You got the good, and then you got some other side. Like you don't even know who you're gonna interact with. So
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting state. That's for sure.
facts.
What would you say is more important to you as an artist on Spotify, your monthly listeners or your followers on there?
My listeners for sure. I like it. It wouldn't matter to me if I had zero followers on Spotify. Like as long as people is listening to me and actually hearing me out, like that's my. I always like want people to hear my music opposed to like anything else. Like forget the numbers, forget all that. Like, are you feeling me though? Like, do you really feel how I feel on this track, or do you understand how I feel on this track? How however you may take it, but yeah, that's the biggest thing for me.
Now, you said you're currently working on an album, and I know a lot of artists now, they put in a lot of work, so they have a lot of tracks just in a vault. How many tracks roughly would you say you've been sitting on?
I know like on my phone, so these like the ones that I actually have sent to my phone. My computer has other tracks that I probably don't even send. I know right now on my phone I have 200 tracks right now that I haven't posted, like never uploaded, nothing. That are just sitting on my phone that I'm going through. But I don't think any of them are gonna go on the album. Like I think this is just like throwaways is what I call it. Just and sometimes I do like I have a project called Final Draft. Sometimes I just drop like a throwaway tape where these are all tracks that I just never posted. Really don't have like nothing, nowhere for them to go really. So I just
Yeah.
post it and give it to people. So I might do that at the end of the year or something. But that's normally what I keep them for, just for if I want to just if I'm feeling antsy. Yeah.
Yeah. A good friend of mine, Sliko Got Bars, he's dropped two little like mixtapes this year on his Spotify and Apple and all that. That's what the whole things were, where he's working on an album, but he wanted content being released. So he
Right.
had a bunch of throwaways that he was like, I don't know what else to do with them, so I'm just going to drop them as these little EPs, put out content
Hey,
while I'm working on the album.
especially like your people that really do mess with you, like, and really love you as an artist, like, they appreciate that. Like, they love stuff like that because they're like, oh yeah, you ain't heard this one, or this one's different. Or they might tell you like, this is a vibe you should do more often. It helps you as an artist, get some direction too. So I love doing those type of tapes.
What would be some advice that you would give to a younger person trying to start making music, or just to a younger you?
I would say have faith, and even if it feel like you ain't getting no motion, or you're not getting the accolades that you think you should get in due time, like, just you really got to just trust the process, because things could be way worse. Like, you got to think about where you at now and appreciate that, and just keep grinding. So that would be my thing to myself, because being an artist, you can get discouraged. Like, I can say for myself, there's times where I felt like, man, this ain't gonna work. Like, obviously, it's like nobody, like nothing's changing. Like, I don't even want to do it no more. But I just got to keep reminding myself, just trust the process. Like, keep getting better. Like, keep trying to figure out new ways to become a better artist. And you eventually start getting them. And I feel like slowly, like me, like I'm a product of that right now. So
Now, when we were talking about the tracks that you've got, I feel like I saw you had posted that you do your mixing and mastering yourself?
mhm.
Is that something that you've like just self-taught from watching like YouTube videos and practicing it over and over again?
Yeah, like I said, I was watching YouTube videos. I started like at seventh or eighth grade, start learning how to get on YouTube and actually like look up your questions. Like, there's videos out there. I didn't know that. So I'm watching these videos and just learning off of the different programs that I had before in the past. And then I just kept doing that now. Like, that was just something I felt like helped me. So as I'm getting better, like, I started off on like an HP. I'm looking at my stuff right now. Now I got like a Mac. I got like an actual mic, you know what I'm saying? Actual speakers. Like, these are things that I ain't even know I needed, but I need like like little things like that. Interfaces. I didn't know I needed some of this stuff. Like, so I feel like being able to watch these videos and learn what you need, it helps you figure out what you need, what you need to do with your voice, or like how to mix it. Like, it can get so in depth on YouTube. Like, you can learn how to be an engineer just off YouTube. So yeah.
Or so I've interviewed a lot of different like female artists, and especially in the hip hop artists, they all talk about how it's harder to be a female hip hop artist. What do you, in your opinion, what do you feel like makes it harder being a female hip hop artist?
I think what make it hard is that being a female, they think females soft. They think females like they can't, they're not, they're not capable of doing what a man can do. But the industry, like, it's not like a preference. Like, and there's a lot of GOAT female artists, but they just don't get that light because people try to focus it on the males. But there's a lot of females, one that's behind the scenes that handled a lot of stuff for a lot of the male artists. And on top of that, these people in the background should be in the forefront, because they probably the ones behind, 9 times out of the 10, like, the hits that we love and that we listen to. So I say just being a female, that'd be the hardest part. Like, just thinking that we're we're not capable, or like we're soft, quote unquote, or like that we can't, for some reason, just can't do what guys are doing. Like, and 9 times out of, you look at the females now, they doing it better than a lot of the male artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at numbers, if you look at content, if you look at lyrically, like, it's a lot of female artists doing it better than a lot of dudes. So it's like, you gotta give them their credit. But I say that'd be the hardest thing.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I mean, I know it pretty much sums up exactly what you said. A lot of guys just also don't want to be caught riding around to like a female artist because they feel like it makes them look soft. But
Yeah,
I'll fucking bump whatever. If the song's fire, the song's fire.
right.
I bump Lotto a lot
Yeah.
and Coil Ray. But
And it's like, these artists, they be having more songs. Like, it's not always like, so even female artists, like, it's not always like shaking ass and doing this with my nigga, and it's not like, it's not always that. Like, if you dig into an artist, they have other music that
oh yeah,
stimulates your brain. If you don't want to listen to that, like, you don't have to always listen to the was just like dig into an artist, actually hear an artist, opposed to just listening to a hit. So
Yeah. No, I agree. What would you say would be your idea of making it in the music industry?
Man, I say being able to like go on a tour, sell out maybe, or just being able to do like big venues and knowing like when I go, there's people that are gonna sing these songs back to me. They're gonna have a moment just like I'm having a moment, and being able to live off of, you know, the money that comes in through, you know, the shows, or really just being able to not have to work a job and do what I love, and then be able to have people that actually reciprocate that same energy and want you to be a good artist and love your music and want to have these moments and support you. So I say that's when I would feel like, oh yeah, I made it. Like when people actually are singing my songs back, I could sell out and people are having a great time. So that's like my goal. That's where I'm trying to take it.
So I've also noticed in your photos and during this interview, you always have your chain. I feel like you do you always typically have a chain on you?
Normally, yeah, some sort of chain or my I don't even have it on. I normally wear like this Cuban, um, and that's normally what I always wear. But
I'm just curious as to like what inspired that for you to always want to wear like the Cuban or a chain.
to me, they like trophies a little bit. Like when I got my Q, that was my first chain, like my first chain ever. I never wanted to rush to get a chain. I never wanted to be that kind of person. I'm like, my chain gonna come to me, and it's gonna come in due time. So I got that chain probably like 2 years ago. Yeah, probably like a year, two or yeah, two a year and a half, 2 years ago. And it just came like at a perfect time. Like it was just like right before I had all of this music. I was going into 2021, so I was like, yo, I already know how my year is gonna look. Like I already know how like what I want to do, and it was kind of like a good job. Like you did it. Like you know you said that was I finished my first ever like real album, which is Heartbreak Mechanic. That's like my very first like real album. The rest I would say beforehand were like mixtapes. So that was kind of like, you know, you did it. Here's the chain. So that's how I remember my chain by, and that's like my Heartbreak Mechanic chain. And then this chain that I have now, of course, is the one from the showcase. So, you know, this is like moments, and that's how I want to keep my chain so that I can explain my chains in the future. Like, you know, this is why I had this one. This is why I had that one. So more like trophies.
In this industry, you have to have like nerves of steel because of whether hating trolls on the internet
Yeah.
and performing live, no matter how big artists get, they talk about there's always some sort of nerves before hitting the stage. Do you remember what it was like the first time you hit the stage and performed in front of a live crowd?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was nervous. I was sweating. I was like, oh man, what if I forget my lyrics? Like that was my biggest thing. Like, what if I go in there and forget? What if I slip and fall or something? Like if I'm doing too much. And I was just nervous. But as soon as I hit the stage, I don't know. Like I tell people all the time, it feels like a switch. Like it just feels like as soon as the music and I see the crowd, even if it's only 5 people in the crowd, like when I see people that are there for me, it makes me feel good. It makes me want to put on a show. So it's just like from there, it just takes over, and it's like I love the feeling of performing. Like that is my favorite part about being an artist is like doing all this back work, getting the music together, and then being able to go showcase it because it's different when you see it live opposed to listening to it like on your headphones or whatever. So I want to give people that when they see me. So it's like a switch. But I say before, boy, I know my first show, I was sweat. I remember I was sweating so bad. I was scared. I was like, man, what if they think I'm lame? What if I fall? But it was fun. And after that, I fell in love with it. For real.
Then the last question I have before we kind of talk about your discography, some of your latest releases, is what change do you want to see in your community, as in either the hip hop community or there in Columbus?
Um, I say I just want to see everybody like support each other. Like as I've been going on this journey and I'm starting to travel a little bit more. Like when I went to Atlanta, like it's a different feeling. Like the way they love their artists. Like I went to a show and I was able to see like when their artists come out, it's a different feeling. Like they know their artists, they love their artists, and they support their artists. Not saying that Ohio or even Columbus isn't like that, but I would just love to see that more so that it's just like undeniable. Like we all could just support each other and take everybody to the top and just put Ohio on. Like, because Ohio not really, it's not on. Like, you know, when people think of a
Yeah.
city, they always name it Atlanta or LA. And nobody's ever saying Ohio. And it's like, bro, we gotta come
Help
together
out.
and put all of us on, you know. So that's what I would say.
So we'll start here at the beginning of 2022. You released the single "Damaged."
Yeah.
What was the creative process behind that track?
So that one was with my producer Q made it. And we really talked about doing a different sound. So we wanted to do like something that we've never done before, something that was like outside of the box. So he had sent me that beat, and I was like, all right, cool, you know. And I'm like, let's kick it off with this one. I feel like it's different. People have never heard it, and it's just a single. See how people reciprocate off that. So that's kind of just how it came about. We were just playing with different sounds as far as the beat wise, and then put it together after that. So
And then you released "Where to Love At." What was the process behind that track?
you were breaking up. Say it again.
Oh, sorry. Then after that, you had released "Where to Love At." What was the creative process behind that?
So that one, I was just I think I actually wrote half. I had already had that beat kind of tucked. I had already wrote like half of the song already, but I ended up circling back to it just because of the way the beat switch up was, um, and it felt like two different songs a little bit. And I just love that because I've never done it. I've never done nothing like that either. So I was just kind of playing with different beats. Um, but as far as like the story behind it, you know, where the love at? Like, you know, I'm trying where the love at, you know? And that's how I was just kind of feeling in that time frame. So I just was like, yo, this would be perfect. Not necessarily relationship wise, just like where the love at in general. Like what, you know, why ain't where the love, you know?
Then you released a little 4-track EP, "What Is Love."
Yeah.
What was the process and the like creative, not creative, the concept behind this EP?
Yeah, so this one definitely we were trying to do. This is also what Q made it. He produced all four of those tracks. Um, we wanted to do a little bit of like a because I did what you know where to love at. So then me and Q were talking. He's like, "Yo, let's do like a little EP, just like a little vibe, kind of just of the time that we was in, and what we were doing at that time frame. Because we were a lot of it was just if you listen to it, you know, I'm talking about love. I'm talking about the things that I was doing in that time frame, chilling, smoking in the studio, catching a vibe, just going through life, going through the motions of life, and it was just more I was feeling like the love wasn't being reciprocated. I felt like I was giving out a lot of love to people and it wasn't being reciprocated. So that's kind of where the first track came from, and then we stemmed off of that and did the 4-song EP. So that's like kind of where it stemmed off of.
And then you released a single, "Top of the World."
Yeah.
What was the creative and concept behind this track?
At this point, I was feeling like this is probably one of my favorite songs I dropped. Um, just because I have a remix of it. I don't know if you've heard it. It's with Cushy and my boy Tashambi the Great. But we would put that on Cushy's tape. So I only dropped my version and then we did the remix. So Top of the World was more of just like a statement. Like, you know, I was kind of in a funk again. Like, you know, I was just kind of just down a little bit. So Top of the World was just kind of trying to give myself that motivation. Like, I'm trying to feel on top of the world. Like this is like the route I'm trying to reach a different pinnacle. Like I gotta get outside this box. And then getting outside the box made me start reaching out to different artists, and that's when I ended up linking with Cushy. And then me and Tashambi, we've been locked in for years, so it was easy to get him on there, and we did that. So it was kind of like a statement, and it was cool having my boys on there too. So it was dope.
And then you released an album,
Yeah.
"Too Hurt to Heal." It's a 11-track album.
Yep.
A couple songs that got over 3,000 streams, which is really impressive. I also have a question on the spelling on some of the tracks. Do you do that intentionally, where there's just
Yeah.
random capital letters? Okay.
Yeah. I do that. You're probably talking about like overthinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do that. Overthinking though, like kind of just to touch on that, like that's my favorite song to perform. Like that song, it takes you, it's high energy, and it really just talks about me overthinking and what I'm thinking, and like what goes through my head. And everybody can relate to overthinking, like going through situations, feeling like maybe I'm just going crazy, but a lot of the times you got a lot of shit going on, and that's why you're overthinking. So that's why I made the song, and I made the letters just everywhere because it's like we overthink. You feel everywhere, kind of like out of pocket a
Scramble.
little bit. So it's like it just I feel like that made sense in just the whole vibe of the song. So, but yeah, I do that sometimes. I just like it because I did that with another track too. I think
Yeah,
with
that's why I
Blick.
brought it up because I had noticed it
Yeah.
on a couple other tracks. There was like that.
Yeah. So anytime I do that, normally it's just kind of trying to fit the vibe because it's either gonna be either what I'm saying is gonna make sense or just the vibe of the song. It'll make sense. So yeah,
It was on the What Is Love EP. You had the This Is Time and
yeah,
ME is capitalized on time.
yep. And I capitalize me because if you just read this like this is like me like, and then if you listen to time, it's just me talking about like this is me like basically these are my flaws, but at the end of the day, this is me. So that's why I just did the me.
So then you followed up that album with the single. You've dropped a lot of music this year.
Yeah, for
You've been
sure,
grinding.
for sure.
You dropped Still Love You, Shake It. What was the concept and creative process behind this? And by the way, the cover art for this is fucking dope.
I appreciate that. I be making all my cover art too. That's another thing. I be
Oh, damn.
yeah. Yeah, like the what is love, the it's like a little post-it note or whatever. That's dead my handwriting. Took a picture and just edited. Like I did do all my stuff. But uh that one we wanted to do a pop track. Like I like again told you I'm trying to be versatile. Like that's my biggest thing. Like hella versatile. So I was telling Q, like, bro, let's drop a pop song. Like, bro, let's do some pop shit. I was like, but I still put my spin on it. And he was like, all right, bet. Like, let's tap in. So he made them, and then like we tapped in real hard with like pop. We did some like some house music. Like we did some other stuff. So this was like one of the songs out of like that little catalog that we was kind of building with that. So I love that song. It's crazy.
And then you followed up with another album, Class Act 2, because you released Class Act back in 2021.
Yeah.
What was the creative process and concept behind this album, and what made you choose the title Class Act?
So Class Act, we decided to do that because me and Q we teamed up on it, and we felt like what's a good statement like for both of us. We both are very similar when it comes to creating. And one thing that we agreed on is that we felt like we were underdogs, and it's kind of like in high school or even in school in general, we kind of felt like the class act, like like people love us, laugh at us, and all that, but still we were still the underdogs. Like it still felt like that. So we were like, let's just title it Class Act. Like that would be perfect. So that's where that came from. So we did the first one, it was 7 songs. We did the second one, we made sure that it was, I believe it's 7 songs.
It is, yeah.
And we were like, for the second one, we wanted to make it different. We wanted to make it extremely different, but still show how versatile we was, just kind of in a different light. So that's what we try to do with Class Act. We try to keep it real versatile. It kind of touches on different like vibes, but different genres. And that's like the thing that I love about Q. We can kind of make literally any kind of music. So that's what we did with Class Act 1, and then the second one we did the same exact thing. We just touched on some different vibes and shit like that. So it was fun.
And then you released the first song I listened to of yours that I found to be really fire is Blick.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that one was fun as hell.
What
Definitely
was
different.
the process behind this?
So this one, I really wanted to show like I can make all kinds of music and dig real deep, but I also have like a fun side. And I feel like I was making so much deep stuff that people like they ain't know. Like I felt like they didn't know. Like I'm really in my bag. Like I can do anything. So when this beat came to me, me and the producer, I chopped it up or whatever. I forget the producer's name. Chopped it up in an email, and then ended up getting the beat. And I was like, "Yo, this is stupid. I was like, this is stupid. And it's different. And I feel like with TikTok and with the waves that is going on right now, like I feel like it was just a perfect song to, get out there, get everybody dancing and having a good time. So that's really where it came from. And I just really wanted to do like some fun. Like it kind of gave me like New Jersey vibe, like Jersey mix a little bit vibe. So that's why I was just like, yo, this is perfect, like perfect vibe. So hopped on there, did that, and we killed that. And was like, yeah, let's drop it.
And then that brings us to your newest release, really R&B forward, My Ex.
Yes, sir.
What was the creative process and the concept behind this album? Or not album, sorry, single.
Right. So this one definitely, the season is getting there. It's already October. It's time to, get back in that R&B bag. Normally around this time, like this is the kind of music that I drop because it's just that era. It's getting cold. It's the type of stuff that a lot of people like listening to. And then I just wanted to just bring that flavor like early because normally I tap in way later. So I was like, I want to just give y'all this right now. But as far as the concept behind it, really, I just like to write music that relates to people. Like I'm keeping it 100. I don't miss my ex. Like I'm not like, I'm not trying to make a statement with this song. It's literally just like I just want to bring that vibe. But I love this kind of music. I just love slow bops. I just love like just the vibes. So when I created that song, I was like, I want to tap back in. So I tried to just think about like what would somebody in this predicament want to hear from, or what would make them relate to the song, I would say. So that's kind of where the concept came from. But yeah, just got to make it clear, like, I don't miss no, I ain't trying to, make no statements or nothing with that. Just it's a vibe.
All right. That's dope. I think you're really talented. And like I said, when we get off here, I'll send you some artists that are from Ohio and a couple from up in the Columbus area there to check out for your project. But if I'm going to give you the floor, plug anything you got going on.
You already know what it is, man. Keezytheeunkind, man. I got my project, Heartbreak Mechanic 2, my album, Center Works. So just stay on the lookout for that. We got artwork, we got videos, we got all kinds of cool stuff coming for this project. I'll take it to another level. So just stay tuned, turn on your notifications, all that, follow the kid. And yeah, just stay tapped in. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of great stuff in the works. Can't say too much, but definitely Heartbreak Mechanic 2 is on the way. It's coming before the end of the year. So make sure y'all tap in.
All of her links will be in the description below. Her link tree especially will most likely be what I use. That way, one click, you can see everything she got going on.
Yeah.
Tap in with her if you're an artist for any type of style you do. She'd definitely be able to bring something to the table for you. Like, comment, and subscribe. And Keezy, I appreciate you coming on and giving me your time.
Appreciate it.
All right, take it easy.
All right, love.